Even then, at that point, I still never thought I've got the biggest group, you know, in the next, you know, 5-10 years. It wasn't that kind of concept. It was more like, well, we can nick them in before a Stone Roses album, maybe sell 500,000 copies, and, you know, we'll all have had a result.
We were sent to Liverpool by Creation to do some demos, and for whatever reason, the stuff that we were doing, it wasn't really happening, and somebody said, well, why don't you just go and write one? Bring It On Down was going to be our first, Alan McGee wanted it to be our first single, and we come here to do that, and we couldn't get, funnily enough, we couldn't get the drumming right.
What I remember from that day is Noel being really busy, sat in the corner, just sort of scribbling away and strumming around. He was writing these lyrics, and which is what he did, you know. It's like, all right, Noel's doing that. Next thing is like, right in the room, come on, check this out.
I just leant there, and I just wrote the first things that came into my head. And then I just went,
there you fucking go, superstar. Do that, change that, right, press record, let's go. And we did it, and it was done in the day.
And the version that they demoed that day is the version. They've never re-recorded it ever. You know, it costs like 200 quid to record it.
We left here that night and listened to it in the car on the way home about 20 times. I was like, fucking hell, man, that sounds mega.
Poily went, yeah, get on this song. They've just done this today and put it on it. That was the moment we both went, it's got to be unstoppable now.
I think a couple of days later, we were doing a session in Maida Vale, and Alan McGee turned up. And he was like, well, come on, let's hear this song that you've recorded, you know, first single and all that. I've not even heard it. It's supersonic. What's that? I remember playing it through the speakers in Maida Vale, just blew his head up.
You need to be yourself. You can't be no one else.
All of a sudden, we were on The Word and we were playing live. Oh, you know, and you'd be doing, like, takes for the camera during the day. Like, that was all right. You'd be doing another one, sound checks. Oh, did it all right. So I'm going to get it wrong sometime, and it's going to be on this, you know, at the moment. Didn't, thank God.
They're fantastic on it. That was their first ever live TV appearance. I'm just sat around going, you know, Liam was probably 20 at the time going, are we going on yet? Can we do it? Come on, let's do it.
Can I ride with you in your BMW? You can sail with me in my yellow submarine. You need to find out, 'cause no one's gonna tell you what I'm on about.
The Word appearance was pretty pivotal in the first sort of few weeks as well. It was like that made such a big impact. It was almost like it was 3D TV. Liam just seemed to come out of the screen.
They always backed it up, you know, they came on telly. And people going, oh yeah, it's just going to be hooligans and it's going to be rubbish, they're going to be drunk. But when there was work to be done, they did the work.
In Mona Valley, there was very high spirits, no question about that. They knew, you know, that they were very confident about how good the songs were and how good they were.
Down to a studio, you got a couple of weeks in there, big studio, river running through it. So, oh, it's amazing. It's going to sound great. And it didn't.
It didn't work out. You know, it was pretty good, but it wasn't like hitting the ceiling in terms of everyone's expectations. So after a couple of weeks of deliberations, they decided to basically start it all again.
It took us 3 times to do the album, because it weren't right. We've got people mixing it. We've got a producer there who's produced the Kinks and that. They weren't right for us.
I think it was the first time we were in a big studio. There was something that wasn't quite happening.
It was probably a lack of live performance that hampered them sessions, and we were there for a while. I think we were there. We must have been there for 3 weeks or something, and there was no live music going on. It was all, you know, it'd be, you know, drums, then bass, then and it wasn't what anybody was used to.
The drums go in that room or behind that screen, the bass go over there, and that kind of thing, which I think weirded him out a little bit. I
actually thought when we was in Mona Valley that it sounded all right, but of course I'd never actually heard the band live because we were always on stage, and he was going, it's just not right, you know. And Alan McGee was going, it doesn't sound like you lot. So we were sort of taking their word for it, really.
The deliveries was all good. It was just the way it was. I think it was just the you know, the actual vibe of the thing and the way it sounded. It just sounded soft. It didn't sound, you know, there was no edge to it.
Just panic stations, you know, listen back to monitor mixes, just going, this ain't happening.
Your music's coming out of a speaker which is the size of your fucking house.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's going to sound great.
Yeah.
You know, even Frank Zappa.
It wasn't in any way representative of what they were at that time.
It was a good couple of weeks before it was decided we were going to scrap it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because we were in with Dave first, weren't we? We'd started mixing with Dave.
Did we? Right.
Yeah, and then Angelique came as the, it's like I say, it's sort of like the safe option from creation, wasn't it?
Noel obviously very worried. I mean, this is songs that he's written. They're coming out of speaker sounding like that, not giving him any justice.
Come up to Olympic Studios and have a go at mixing this, and if you can't mix it, then nobody can, and it's rubbish, and we're all going to start again.
I think I was given the task of going in and telling Jeremy Pierce at Sony that the £40,000 to £50,000 that he'd put up to record the Oasis album was going in the bin, essentially, and we needed more money. And he unbelievably went, kind of like, yeah, OK, fine.
I'll always respect McGee for that. He just said, look, you know, fucking go and do it again. And we were like, you sure? And he was like, just go and do it again because you've got to get it right. And off we went to Cornwall.
I remember getting on a boat and going to the studio. Can't remember anything else. Don't even remember coming back.
They didn't tell me that you had to put the gear on a boat to get it there. It were like they'd kept that one as a surprise.
I just remember being Griggs with his bass amp, fucking freezing, middle of January, wind blowing. I remember going, I bet Bono never had to fucking do this.
Nice middle-class girl, you know, and then bang, I was like in the middle of Oasis. Oh, quite frankly, at the beginning I was a little bit scared of them. I thought, gosh, you know, what's all this?
It wasn't palatial, no, it was all pretty cramped in and no frills, you know. Tiny room with a pool table, TV room, and that was it, you know.
And they were quite funny. They were just like boys that had gone to camp or something for the first time.
Yeah, it was like an holiday for us. Just some getting out of the house, something like that, wasn't it?
Can I have bangers and mash for my tea, please? That's what they were like, you know, and where's the jelly? And I thought I was on a school trip, to be honest.
We had it going on pretty much straight away, didn't we?
Absolutely. First day, we're recording straight away. But we set it up in a way that we understood. We just set it up like a rehearsal room or, you know, or like a gig.
Just the fact that, you know, each and every one of you were in that room, you could see each other, a lot of eye contact. It's what we always did, playing a room together.
They had actually thought exactly about what their sound was supposed to be. I mean, Mark Coyle and Noel had spent years, you know, discussing the fine points of what is great about these things. And they liked their orange amps. They wanted it to sound thin and fizzy. I mean, that was the whole idea. I mean, I suppose you could get confused because they wanted Neil Young at the same time.
When everything was done live, vocals, everything was done live.
Liam was down the end of the room, behind the glass door. I fucking love that because it looked like he was in prison. He'd be there with his headphones on and he'd be shouting and he'd be like, I can't fucking hear you, get on that, I can't hear you. And he would just sing in there and then we'd stop and then we'd either get the thumbs up and then we'd go to Liam, did you get it? And he'd be pretty much, it was like 1 or 2 takes and it was all right.
Slide away and give